Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 121 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to be, well, a revelation film. It's going to have many different twists and turns that will lead to saga-wide implications within the Skywalker saga. That's really going to change how we view the past 8 Star Wars films that come before this one. And the fact that JJ and George are really including tons of different pieces of Jedi, Sith, and Force lore as a way to really explore a different side of Star Wars, to really bring back the fans of course, the Star Wars franchise. This is where things begin to get very exciting. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where it begins to change how we view The Last Jedi. Now, specifically, a description of Rey traveling to the Lost City, where it's explained that she is in search of both Jedi and Sith lore, to gain knowledge of the ancient ways of the Force as well. It's explained that one of the sequences is said to involve a moment in which Rey travels inside of the Prime Jedi Temple, where she begins to hear the Force Ghost voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's explained that Kenobi's Force Ghost voice begins to give Rey a lesson about the island of Ahch-To, and why the Prime Jedi mosaic rested there. Now, it's said that Kenobi explains to Rey that it was the Wills who created the Prime Jedi, and that this Jedi was created just like Anakin was, and that the island of Ahch-To that Rey traveled to was a place not only for the ancient Jedi, but also once a place that the Wills would travel to in order to teach a lesson to the ancient Jedi about the origins of the Force. It said that this was actually a decision made by George Lucas and J.J. Abrams to use Episode 9 as a way to change the fans' perception of The Last Jedi and the island of Ahch-To that Luke stayed on, and that part of the island holds the power of the Wills. It said that the voices that Rey heard reaching out to her in The Last Jedi from the tree library were the Wills themselves, and that Kenobi's Force Ghost voice reveals that the island was a strong Force nexus, and a conduit, if you will, for the Wills to communicate with the Force sensitives. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to explore the original idea of the Wills that were created by Lucas himself back in the 1970s and 80s. And what I love so much about this is that it really does give the fans a better idea of exactly where JJ wants to bring the fans and exactly what he really wants to do to change Star Wars lore as we know it when it comes to Obi-Wan Kenobi delivering this lesson to Rey. And I think what's so important about this scene is that it's really going to give us a better sense of what was going on during Luke's time on Ahch-To during the events of The Last Jedi and why he stayed there. Seems as though that J.J. Abrams is trying to give us more depth, if you will, as to why Luke did not want to leave that island, as opposed to him just hiding. So on top of all of this, we do know that Episode 9 is going to have a lot of revelations just like this, that's going to have, massive implications on not just the Skywalker saga, but also to the sequel trilogy itself. So this particular scene is also said to involve a moment in which Kenobi's Force Ghost reveals to Rey that the Prime Jedi was born just like Anakin. Not necessarily, that Anakin was born through the Wills, but was born in a similar way to how the Prime Jedi was created. Now, though yes, the Wills created Anakin Skywalker, or should I say, the Wills created the Prime Jedi, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Wills created Anakin. It's just that Anakin was created in a similar way. I think that when we think about Anakin Skywalker, the fact that they are teasing a lot about Palpatine being the father and how he initiated the birth of Anakin through Shmi is a very interesting side of the story here. So the other piece that I do want to go over that really does intrigue me as well is how the Prime Jedi mosaic is actually said to be used as a conduit, if you will, for the Wills to communicate with Force-sensitive individuals on the island of Ahch-To. You guys may recall that symbol that is actually inside the cave on the first Jedi Temple, where we have both Rey and Kylo Ren, or should I say Rey and Luke Skywalker, sitting in front of each other on top of that mosaic. That is actually said to be a conduit, if you will, for the Wills to communicate with Force sensitives, such as the ancient Jedi, and even, of course, Luke Skywalker and Rey. If you guys listen carefully when Rey is traveling uphill and following Luke, where she slowly turns around and looks at that tree library, you will hear voices actually reaching out to Rey. Those are now said to be the wills as revealed by Kenobi's Force Ghost in Episode 9 within, of course, the Prime Jedi Temple. What I love so much about this too is that this is a very big lesson that's being delivered from Kenobi to Rey, and how it really does change how we view The Last Jedi itself by, of course, Rian Johnson. It seems like J.J. Abrams really is trying to fix what was, done in The Last Jedi in Episode 9 specifically. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to